no faces, not my face, just a screen and a voice, because I'll be doing some demonstrations in a moment. So, welcome back. I hope you've all managed to settle into Approx now, flying with using the library, getting to grips with it all. What I'm going to do now is a sort of session on how to do literature searching for your literature review, which is expected to do as part of the applied research module, which is Beacon's running. So I've got this room till half 2 only, so I'm going to make it quick. Usually I like a bit longer, but to discuss. But as I'm motoring along, please interrupt me and so forth. What I've given you is you've already had the referencing guide, and you probably keep that by your side for when you're doing the first few assignments. You soon get to grips with it. So it's not going to be a problem for you, I'm sure. The only way to learn how to do it is by actually doing. And literature search strategy thing I've given you, we'll be looking at this. This is how you can kind of make sense of your research topic, to come up with a title, a research question, and then to think about keywords and to break it down so you then have a selection of terms suitable for searching the library resources. I would use the library resources, I said this in the last session, because Google's great, it has a lot of stuff out there. So, we're going to be looking at that now. We're going to think. So what we're doing now is the process of writing literature starts with a literature search. Literature search is gathering relevant and authoritative secondary sources on your topic. You might be tempted to use Google. Use the library resources. That's the stuff that you paid for. Use Google by all means. There's a lot of really good stuff out there, but there's a lot of rubbish out there. And as this guy says, Abraham Lincoln, great president of the United States, his famous quote is, "The problem with quotes found on the internet is that they are often not true." I found that on the internet. Found that through Google. Now think about that. That's a kind of illusion. You could actually always believe that it said that. But, of course you didn't know he wasn't around at that time. You didn't get that he wasn't around. So, but there's a lot of other kind of illusions going on when you search Google. When you go through there are people that probably had one too many drinks of a night and got really excited. Someone's really having a bit of a laugh, just thinking, right, okay, I'll put something out there and everyone's going to believe this, So there are people out there doing that kind of stuff and organisations doing that. So be careful. Think about it before you access stuff there. Within a library, the stuff is generally pretty safe. You get into really good quality resources. Use a mixture of journal articles and textbooks and reports that we find in the library, and you're going to be fine. Be careful using Google. So I always think of this. I have 5 honest serving friends. They told me all I knew. Their names are what and why and when and where and who. Keep those words, simple words, in mind when you're assessing and when you're critically analysing any results that you get. And that, you'll be safe with that. You'll be safe with those in mind. And that will help you with the reviewing, because that's what you're going to have to do when you write your literature review. When you get your article or your book or whatever, think of what is being said. Is the website stating information as a fact? If you're using a website, is it a journal article? You could argue that you perhaps don't agree with one of the authors, and maybe the facts are a bit kind of not quite there. If it's factual information, how do you know it is correct. That's what it said. Just really verify. Is the information detailed enough for what you need? What evidence is given back up to back up what they said? What other sources can you find to check the information against it? Try to find a different type of source. Does the web page itself give sources for the information? Pretty simple stuff. Pretty obvious. But when you get carried away with this kind of dissertation work, it's quite a big piece of work, and the adrenaline gets going, and you quite often go rushing along with a gung-ho attitude. Sometimes I'm guilty of doing, and you forget to see things. So we got what and what agenda the authors might have, and therefore how that might bias the information. If you have, for example, if you have any information on a particular drug, is a web page produced by the company which makes the drug, in which case it's going to be kind of biased towards it. So think about why. When does this information date from? Always check to see how up to date the information is. Does the web page say when it was last updated? If it's a web page, or is a website generally being maintained? Can you check against sources you know are up to date for comparison? And then we've got where. If you find the page through a link or web search and you're not sure where it comes from, look for the home page first. So have a look to see where it was produced. If you're doing a project that's UK based and you find something about Australian building regulations, well, you're not going to use that. You want to use British building regulations and so on. So, who is saying it? That's the last one. Can I trust the person or organisation behind this web page? Are they likely to have their facts right? If it's a research paper in a peer-reviewed journal article, well, you can be rest assured it's pretty good. And always think of the authority. Think of the author. Are they a recognised authority on the subject? Do other sources, read some books and journal articles refer to them? You can see how many times they've been cited, for example. That's when you can look at the sightings of something to see what is how well used it is, how respected it is. Is there a bibliography of articles, reports, books on the publications by the personal organisation on the website? So you can see how many other publications are published. So that's to bear in mind. So what I'll move on to next is a literature search strategy. Now, what I would do is just write in your top, an idea that you have at this point. Just put it in, just put anywhere in. And then, say for example here I've got modular constructions, modular construction benefits and limitations in the UK. So just put it in. And then you come back and then you can then amend it later on. Put it into more grammatically correct. If you just put it all back to front, words back to front, doesn't matter how it is. Just gives you a guide. So for this piece of work, you want to really be structured because it's quite a large piece of work and you can lose track. So make notes. If you don't normally make notes when you write essays, which sometimes I can do for a short piece of work, I keep all in my head, I've got very good memory for stuff. But for a larger piece of work, even if you've got a really good memory, just write it down, get the practice of that. And writing down ideas for searching, ideas for you. Because the thing is, you think of a great idea and then suddenly, next day you think, oh gosh, I've forgotten that, because it's all the adrenaline stuff going around in your head and you're getting pulled away at tangents because it's quite a big piece of work. So kind of rein it in, just keep it in focus and break it down into small chunks and structure your searching. And this is the secret to it, really, to finding the literature you need. So it's the preparation, so you've done preparation. So we got immediate keywords, got modular construction, limitations, UK and benefits. Those will be, or you could have, and then we think of identify alternative terminology. So we got, can anyone offer me some alternative terminology? Let's have a quick look. What's another? Do you know what modular construction is? Huh? Prefabrication, yes. Limitations. Another word for limitations. Constraints, yeah, we can handle it. UK.
United Kingdom.
Excellent. I put in the abbreviations there. So, I mean, this subject's full of abbreviations, acronyms, and what have you. So think of that. You know, you might want to put it in full. Because you might not get it if it's just an acronym. You know, CIOB, Chartered Institute of Building. That's what it comes up. Plus at the head, you know. So we got benefits. I mean, well, perhaps UK. Yeah, let's think UK. Great Britain as well. Great Britain. UK is also called Great Britain. And benefits. So that's kind of, think of your terminology. Think of synonyms. Synonyms is another word for alternative terminology. So think of that. It's almost like when you're doing one of these quick crosswords, where they give you a word, you have to think of another word and fill it in. That's what the exercise is about. So think about that. And so this is what I've done. Someone said prefabrication. I've lifted technology and construction, sustainable technology, perhaps. BUMA, United Kingdom, Great Britain, GB, sustain, prefab, house. You see those with an asterisk at the end. And what that is doing is cutting off the end of the word. So, sustainable is sustain will be sustained, sustainable, sustaining, I suppose. Prefab would be prefabrication, prefabricated. It will search for housing and so forth. So what it will work in Google, but that's a kind of, we call it truncation thing, putting asterisks there. It'll work in the library database. It's very useful for it when using library search and the library databases. And labour would look for variants of the spelling, the American spelling for labour, which is LABOR, or the UR. So if you're not sure of the spelling of the word, you could put in the letters, the question. So you should pick up that. So some tips there. Combining your keywords. So think of how you're going to do it. Here I've got prefab with the asterisk and Great Britain and sustainability to narrow down your search. So limiting your search, because at the beginning, I suggest when you write in your research question, remember a topic that is neither too broad or too narrow. If it's too broad, you're going to end up all over the place with it, going off a tangent. So focus it, and not too narrow, because otherwise you need a lot of time for the research. You need 3 years, and that's how long a PhD takes. So park that idea if it's a really wonderful specialised idea. Park that for when you come to do your PhD. So, and then we've got ways of limiting your search. So maybe I'm going to make it a bit narrower. I'm going to look at prefabrication in the UK since 2010. Or I might have a particular case study Manchester, case study North of England, for example, case study, let's think of another part of the world, Turkey or whatever, you know. So think of how you, and then think of the databases you're going to use. Academic Search Complete, Avery, Business Source Complete, or library search, put library search in there as well. Construction information service, so and so forth. So think of think of what you're going to use. Google Scholar. Think of then of where you're going to go for this information. So right now we've got our working topic. We've got our dissertation title, our working dissertation title. It doesn't have to be defined at this stage, because as you're going along and you're searching through the literature, you might want to change it. You might want to make changes to it. You might be inspired by a particular paper or a book or a technical report or something that someone's done, or even another someone's in conversation with your tutor. You might think, well, I think on that's a really good idea what we've got here. I think I might change it to what we've just been discussing. So it's a work in progress, but make notes. So what I would do when I'm going to search is I just copy and paste that at this stage. I do what is called scoping. I'm looking for just doing a wild thing. I'm just going to put the whole thing into library search. Whole title in there. See, just to see what happens. You know, you might. There's some stuff there, but a lot of stuff which isn't relevant. So, I mean, you might be lucky. You might find something. You scroll down, and there's a heck of a lot of stuff there. You could filter it as 1088, or we can then just break it down. We can look at modular construction. We can do this. When I put these, what does that do? If I put the quote marks. Now if you put in the quote marks, that kind of leaves it as a kind of phrase. Yeah, it leaves it as a kind of phrase. So, and then we can put in modular construction, UK, see what that throws up. Now, it's going quite right across a whole range of subjects, but we've got something there. We've got something best design module. There might be something in there. We could go and explore that book. But there's a lot of stuff which isn't sort of relevant. We can try other methods as well. We can go back to our constructed search strategy, and we can let's try prefabrication. Prefab, asterisks, and construction. Let's have a look. Whatever. So I'm just playing around with it. I'm just seeing what there we are. That looks pretty good. That's a book there. You can use a book. Books can be very useful. And that looks pretty good, actually. I mean, for this particular one. Now, the way you can use a book is if you find something that's really good, right, we can access it, and I hope to show you now. Okay, read online. So if we go at the end of each chapter, there should be a list of references. So you can follow up the references, look at the reference lists, and we can pick one up quite easily. It's go down. Let's ignore something like that. It's not loading quite as quickly as what I'd like it to do. But at the end of each chapter, there's a reference list. So have a look, follow up those references as well. So we come back to library search, and there's a whole set of really great stuff there. And I could almost do my dissertation off what we got off that. So there's a journal article as well. Thing. And again, at the end of each one, there'll be a sort of reference list. So let's see if there's any. Anyway, I'm not going to scroll down. This is not a... I haven't got it in that one. It's not a very good example, but usually at the end of a journal article there's a reference list, and then you can cut and paste the journal article. Cut and paste the journal article if you want. Come back to library search, and then type it, cut and paste it in there, and then see if we have it. If we haven't got that journal article, then you can order a copy through the interlibrary loan service. Any items that we haven't got, if you find something that's really useful we haven't got in the library, you can use the interlibrary loan service to order a copy. So another thing about library search is you can save you making notes, and then go up to the items, and then you can select all and then email them to yourself. Just put your email. Try making use of that as well. That's quite useful. And then it comes up, and then it's in your inbox, and it's clickable links then to the articles that you've chosen. Another way to use library search is to use the advanced search. You can search for just title, and you can search for various formats, so you can actually try and narrow down your search straight away. So that's sort of library search. That's kind of various ways. You need to fiddle around with it and interchange your keywords to find out what you want. Move on now, and what I would then do is look at some specialised databases. So if you go into subject help, clicking on subject help will take you through a full list of other subject help pages as well. So what we've got is we've got one for architecture. You might be interested in doing something on tall buildings. Business studies, if you want business information, and health if you're going to do a project on hospitals. But we'll have a look, see what we got in construction. We got a list of databases there. We've got academic search complete. We could put in our search terms there, prefab, and
construction. So try that, see what that throws out. And this is kind of, although library search it was for this, it doesn't always pick up the article, so it's always good to try this as a belt and braces approach, and we've got quite a few there that might be of use to us. So any ones that we find useful, we can then click on those arrows there, and it will add them to the folder, and then we go to the folder, and again we can select all and then email them to yourself. But this is Academic Search Complete, just for me to explain, is I call it a database, but it's really a collection of journal articles, of really good quality journal articles. So it's a good quality kind of research, and you can narrow it down to peer reviewed, which is the top kind of level of research paper. So this will allow you to do that, to filter it. And you notice there's an abstract worth reading through. There's also keywords as well, prefabricated building, so forth, that you might want to look at. We might be inspired by looking through these to then go back and change your title. So subject help, construction, it all takes us to databases. So you've got Avery, that's pretty much a similar sort of interface as well. You search that in the same way. And that's a collection of journal articles relating to architecture. Business Source Complete, this might be a useful one as well. Prefab. And construction, a different set of results here. That looks pretty good. We could add that, and then we go to the folder and then add it to the folder. Let's see, journal article. So subject count, construction, databases, and Animal's a very good one as well. Animal will be pretty good. Construction Information Service, I think I showed you that the last time. That's really kind of useful for technical papers and reports. Factiva, I don't think I showed you this. This contains a lot of international news, but it also contains construction news, a lot of building, some journals as well as newspapers, Financial Times as well. So let's hang on. If that happens, it's throwing me out. Just keep. There we are. So it's slightly different interface here. There we are. So slightly different. So we put prefab, and you've got type and construction. And you can search when you search. This contains the Financial Times as well, but it's pretty intuitive. You've got these filters down on the left-hand side here, and and subjects, you can see industries, so you can filter it down, and to places, and so forth, authors. So it's quite useful. But always the first one is the most recently published item is listed first. That I could advise you to use this if you get stuck scrambling around for information. This one will throw out quite a bit, really good quality journalism, really, mixture trade and broadsheet papers. So, and there's a lot of stuff relating to construction in the built environment on this database. So, environment, databases, and that's Factiva. We've got Emerald as well, which is another important one. I think I just mentioned that. iServe. Science Direct is good for kind of more science-related stuff, and you put in pre-fund. Advanced search there. So, a lot of kind of more technical stuff in Science Direct. So don't forget about that, and that's just pretty useful as well. So, we can move on. We can go into Google. Now we can copy and paste this here into Google. Tell you about Google, about all the nonsense that's there, is there's a way you can use Google. You've got all stuff, all sorts of different types of people writing stuff. But there's this thing up here, there's settings. Settings, go into advanced search and type .ac.uk. And what that is doing, that's a domain name for the university. So what I'm doing is just set it up to search for research papers in the university, and that'll be good quality literature. That'll be pretty good. And then you can type PDF in, down it down to PDF, and then we've got the full text set there. So that's kind of useful too, as well, you can use. And then you can go back, you can do something, set it as .gov.uk. And the advantage of doing that is it's looking through UK local authorities and things. So if you're doing it in the United States, so you're looking through the United States literature, you can put .edu, for example, that will search all the university stuff in the United States, and .gov or government papers in the United States, and so forth. And so that's a tool to think about using. Another one is obviously Google Scholar. So, show you something here. You see those 3 lines up there? If you didn't already know, click on that, and then go into Settings, and then Library Links, and then type in, I've already done it here, but type in Oxford Brookes University, and then what you end up is this blank, this box coming up on the screen. You take that, save that, and then you type in your search terms. And look, what you'll have is these appearing, and it'll recognise you as a Brookes student, and then it will search our repository and bring out everything that we have available at Brookes. You can access it directly through Scholar. It's kind of useful to know that. I mean, Google Scholar is great. I mean, if you set it up this way, then it's trawling through not everything. I think it's about 70%. I would always go back and search the library anyway, so make sure you've got everything. But and of course you can see this thing cited, as I mentioned earlier, to see how many other people have sort of used this kind of research as well. So and another thing, going back to that in settings, is the button as well. You can set a button to appear, which I've done there. Just looking at the time. So back to the Oxford Books Library. Lots of other information here. Referencing the plagiarism, you find that guide, and there's much more about referencing plagiarism on there. We've got EndNote. You might want to be thinking of using that. And do you know what EndNote is? Right, okay. So, well, it's reference management software, and it's pretty easy to use. We have training on it. Week 4, week 5, week 7, week 8. Have a go. Just set yourself up an account. It's free for you guys. It's pretty. I use it a lot. I mean, it makes referencing quite an easy job. And here's a kind of.
Fed up with red marks all over your bibliography? You need EndNote. Store all your references in one place, add your own notes, and then generate a beautiful bibliography. It's easy. In a few simple steps, the references that you've stored in EndNote can be inserted directly into your essay, and your bibliography will appear at the bottom of your work. Check out the library EndNote web pages for more information.
So that's there for you. I mean, we've got the version of the full package, and that's already been paid for. So it's free to use. So I'll have a look at that. I sort of like using it from my own work as well, because it's very, very quick. It takes you about an hour and a half to kind of figure out how to use, but that's time while we're spending. It will save you a lot of time, especially for a large piece of work like a master's dissertation. There's also, if you think of, if you're going to library services, think of using other libraries as well. Don't limit yourself to this library. There's a lot of information. You've got the Bodleian Library down the road there. It's free to join. Do you know what the Bodleian Library is? It's Oxford University Library. It's one of several legal deposit libraries in the UK. What I mean by legal deposit library is it has a copy of everything that's published. Has to have a copy of everything that's published by law in it. So they have a copy of every book that's published in the UK, every journal. A huge resource. Nice place to work as well. Really cool. It's free to you. It's free. You get that application form to join from the library helps. So when you get settled in, that's something that you might want to consider using. But other libraries as well, the British Library, there's Scholarly Access scheme. If you're in another part of the UK, you can make use of other libraries, other university libraries, and so forth. And there's other library catalogues as well. So you find that just by going through library services, and it's listed there. And we've got an A to Z of other library information. If you're looking for information on statistics, you can scroll down, and there we've got a help page for statistics in general, so everything there. Yeah, so do you have any questions? That's quite a lot we've covered, so I think just a matter of getting familiar with the library and finding a way around. So if you do get stuck at any point and you really are scrambling around for information, just you've got my card and contact details. Just email me as a small, I can make you a small group, or even individually, one-to-one, I can sit down with you, looking at this topic if you're scrambling around trying to find anything. You should be able to find enough. I mean, but occasionally you might come up, might find that, you've chosen something where it's a bit tricky. But I'd be happy to move it. So that's kind of where I leave off. No questions?
It's up to them. Any questions? When you search with the author, I saw in the keywords.
Keywords.
You search with the author?
Yeah, you can. You can do this. You can, if you're looking for a particular author, go into library search and go into advanced search and set that to author there. Put in the author, and then if you have an author in mind, and then it'll bring up everything that's written by that particular writer. So we could put in my name. I haven't written anything, but just an example. Bring up everything. And actually, funny enough, that's my name there, but I haven't. I can assure you, I'm not the author. I'm not the author of this one.
We call our discussion on
I haven't quite got there yet. Nothing. The same thing gets your tutor here.
The concept of a paradigm is a community of scholars. Yeah. So if you know that there's this group of scholars, Chicago and New Delhi, University of Delhi, working on this, you already know them, and then you type in there what have they published most recently.
And there's a very old scholar here.
Oh yeah, right. If you want to check, what have they been researching?
I probably know this stuff, so you can take you. So there he is, the man himself. 100, was it 100 or something? 130 or something.
Later on we'll go through, as you see, there's lots of material now. During my day, it was simply going to the library, and what we found in the library was just that. Now you guys are in trouble. There's just so much material. And the challenge is how do you narrow it down to focus on that which is relevant and review it and come to a position where you can stop collecting information and now begin to do your own bit. Yeah? And that's what we'll be doing later on when I'm looking at writing or literature review. Now that you have the material, you now know where to get it. How do you begin to tell your story? You can't put down all those readings, 1,000 in your essay, which is supposed to be 2,000 words. The reading list itself would take up all the word length of the essay.
Yes.
So you have to narrow down to say, how do I narrow it down to the key readings which will be relevant and look credible for my essay.
Yeah, if you've got those questions in mind, what, when, why, and who, those are questions really to be asked. Also, journal titles. If you don't forget, you can just browse through journals, just have a look through. If you've got a particular journal that you like using, just look through the articles. You don't search through, just have a look, just browse through any articles, just go to any journals.
And you will observe there will be material not on the internet for a variety of reasons. Possibly because the region or the institutions that are producing this material do not have such a presence on the internet, or is produced in a language that is not on the internet, or not in English. So we are doing, we saw that vernacular architecture. Some of the material that might help you with vernacular architecture might not be in English. If you are looking at communities in the Amazon, communities in Pakistan. So, getting material from those zones, which is not very important. How do you access that? And those will be specific to research topic, research question, and how you design the research. All those issues will come up in the next